I know as well as I know my own name that you are just as curious as we are, perhaps even more so, about what awaits us in that anticipated new episode of Guller ve Gunahlar that will shake hearts and take breaths away. What Cihan's fate will be in the shadow of treacherous plans, or the deep fear of prison in Azra's heart. If you are one of those who pray every night for the innocent and pure happiness of Serhat and Zeynep, and one of that great family who wants their hands to be interlocked and never to separate, please listen to what I am about to say with careful attention, without giving your focus to anything else. And do not neglect to like our video to show your belief and support for this great love, because these details that I will share with you in a moment, which we reached as a result of deep analyses, contain secrets of the kind that will shake all the balances established in the series so far to their roots and move the stones from their places. If you remember, we predicted the course of events stitch by stitch in the analysis videos we published in the past days, and unfortunately, what was feared happened. The expected bitter end occurred, and Axel closed his eyes to life. With this sudden and shaking death of Axel, Tibet, whose world practically collapsed and whose eyes were filled with blood from pain and anger, will unfortunately cut the bill of this indescribable child pain entirely to Serhat and ignite the fuse of a relentless war against him, where there is no return and mercy is shelved. In the upcoming new episodes, Tibet's strategic and ruthless moves made with that unextinguished fire of revenge in his heart will drag Serhat and Zeynep into the very middle of a process so difficult, thorny, and dangerous that they have never encountered in their lives and could not even imagine. Tibet, using all his material and spiritual power and all his influence like a weapon, will put his diabolical plans into action one by one, without rushing at all, to send Serhat behind iron bars, into those cold cells, and to pull away everything he holds in his hand, his entire existence. On the other side, the situation of Cihan, the once mighty but now fallen man who was kicked out by Serhat after his betrayal and the schemes he turned were revealed, will make hearts jump into mouths. Cihan, seeking a harbor to take shelter in after the great blow he took from Serhat and knocking on Tibet's door, will unfortunately not find what he hoped for there either. After that hard and ruthless lesson given to him by Tibet's men, Cihan will pay a price heavy enough to feel the cold breath of death on his neck. However, the answer to that question the audience awaits with curiosity is no. Cihan will not die. He will continue to hold on to life with that stubborn nature of his and preserve that dark place of his in the series. Cihan, returning from the brink of death, from that thin line, will see Serhat as the sole person responsible for all this humiliation he experienced, his pride being trampled underfoot and the physical pains he suffered. From the moment he bandages his wounds, recovers, and stands up again, he will swear to continue his most insidious games from behind the scenes and within the shadows to destroy Serhat and finish him off by growing the seeds of hatred inside him like ivy. Let's come to those nightmare-filled, breathless moments Azra lived. Cihan casting his conscience aside and ruthlessly locking her in a dark closet and practically leaving her to death and helplessness was the last drop that overflowed the cup. Mustafa, who could not reach Azra in any way and came home in fear with bad feelings gnawing at his insides, finding the woman he loves in that exhausted and miserable state will completely and irreversibly change the course of the story and events. Mustafa, who is her hero, will never, ever allow Azra, who thinks of giving up and surrendering to prison, with the effect of this heavy trauma she experienced and the wounds opened in her soul, to do so. In the progressing episodes, that forced marriage of Cihan and Azra, built on unhappiness, will finally come to an end and the shackles will be broken. Mustafa, despite all his family's objections and all their no's, will shield his chest and claim Azra, and bravely enter the path of marriage they dreamed of so much with her. Azra and Mustafa taking the decision to marry despite everything will practically drive Cihan, who is already like a wounded monster, crazy. Although Cihan, whose eyes are covered with jealousy and rage, makes dangerous moves to cast a shadow on Mustafa's life and eliminate him, he will not be successful against the power of goodness and love. If we touch upon the subject of little Kader, which is the biggest question mark in the audience's mind and makes everyone's heart ache. Tibet, as a result of the official applications and legal maneuvers he made for the sake of his ambitions, will unfortunately succeed in taking Kader's custody. This situation will drag Zeynep, a mother whose hands are tied and who writhes in despair, into a deep grief. Zeynep, risking everything for her child, will be obliged to accept Tibet's compulsory offer and consequently settle in her enemy's lair, his house. Serhat, who goes crazy at the idea of the woman he loves, and Kader, whom he sees as his spiritual daughter, staying in the house of his greatest enemy and under his roof, and who cannot stand still from anger, will never, ever accept this situation. Serhat, darkening his eye to save both Zeynep and Kader from that golden cage, will put those great plans to finish Tibet and bring his empire down on his head into practice one by one without hesitation. Right at the point where this chaos, this confusion, and conflict are most aflame, a surprise name that will create a bomb effect and shake all balances will be included in the cast of Guller v Gunahlar series. This mysterious and extremely powerful character, who will enter the story as Kader's biological father, that is, her real father, by parting the misty curtains of the past, will shake the power balances in the series to their roots. He will stand like a brand new and colossal obstacle, like a mountain, before Serhat and Zeynep. Although it is not yet clear which master or famous name will portray this critical character, it is rumored that the producers are preparing a big surprise. With the magnificent arrival of Kader's real father, the chest full of secrets of the past will open, and facts that will surprise everyone and make jaws drop will come to light. His great struggle to take back his daughter Kader will turn the place into a fire scene and leave no stone unturned. On the Berrak front, the harvest of the seeds of evil she has sown until today will be quite bitter for her. She will be made to pay a very heavy price for her plans and evils. With the truths emerging like a sun, Berrak, who is excluded by everyone around her and condemned to loneliness, will take her place in that dark corner on the losing side once again. On the other side, Cihan getting jealous of that pure rapprochement between Mustafa and Azra and trying to cast a shadow on Mustafa's life with a sick state of mind will escalate events and carry the tension to the highest level. However, Serhat, intervening like a guardian angel, like an insurmountable shield, will prevent even a hair of his loved ones from being harmed and will stand as a bulwark for them. If you want not to miss these striking developments, surprises, and turning points that will happen in this excitement-filled adventure of the series that will be watched breathlessly, to be the first to hear the continuation of our analyses, and to support us on this path, do not ever forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, and like the video in return for our effort. Remember, your support is our biggest source of motivation. Until we meet in our next analysis video with new theories and truths, stay with love, peace, and most importantly, health. Goodbye.